I've had friends and family ask me this more times than I can count, and that is, are you really scared of the world that you need to carry all that? And my answer is very simple, and it's always the same. I'm not scared, I'm prepared. And there's a huge difference between the two. Welcome to Not Another EDC Podcast, where everyday carry meets everyday life. I'm Mikey, a husband, a father, an EDC content creator, and gear enthusiast. Today's episode is about a misunderstanding I hear all the time, and that's the difference between being prepared and being anxious. Now, from the outside looking in, preparedness can look like fear. People see tools, they see intention, they see planning, and immediately they assume it comes from anxiety. Like you're constantly expecting something bad to happen. But that assumption usually comes from people who've never had to think deeply about responsibility, response, or what it means to protect themselves or others. And it could also come from the lack of just wanting to educate themselves on their rights. Now, let me tell you what anxious carry actually looks like. Anxious carry is driven by fear. It's reactive, it's excessive, it's always changing. It's carrying for every possible scenario instead of the most probable ones. And the problem with anxious carry is that it doesn't create confidence, it creates hesitation. Now let me explain what preparedness actually looks like. Preparedness isn't about expecting the worst. It's about accepting reality. Bad things don't happen all the time, but sometimes they do. And when they do, freezing is more often dangerous than the situation itself. I don't carry because I'm afraid. I carry because I never want to be a victim to anything or anyone. And more importantly, I want to know that if something does happen, I know how exactly to react. Let me give you a real world example because this is where the rubber meets the road. And this is where preparedness often gets misunderstood. So let's take my multi-tool, okay? If you looked at this on paper, you might say, that's a lot of freaking tools, dude. But here's the difference. Instead of carrying every tool separately on my person, I've consolidated them into this one compact setup. That entire multi-tool setup is smaller than my phone, my wallet, yet it replaces multiple loose items that would otherwise add bulk and friction. That's not carrying more, that's carrying smarter. Now, I do have to admit that on this multi-tool, the knife is the primary tool for me. I use it almost daily for normal everyday tasks. And yes, it also serves as a last resort self-defense option. Not because I'm looking for conflict, but because I don't ever want to be empty-handed if my life or my family's life is ever threatened. Preparedness doesn't mean to seek danger. It means not being helpless if danger finds you. Now, another thing that lives with me is a flashlight. This is a non-negotiable for me. There's a power outage, a dark stairwell, a parking structure, or a situation where visibility matters. Light gives you options. It helps you move safely, identify exits, and communicate and signal at the same time. And if necessary, it can momentarily disorient a threat long enough to create that distance to have you evade and escape. That's not aggression. That's avoidance. Another thing that lives with me is a pen. My pen isn't just for writing. It can be used to communicate, writing directions, information down, or signaling for help if need be. And because it's a solid titanium pen, it also gives me an option in close quarters if I need to protect myself. Again, the goal is never engagement. The goal is space, time, and escape. All of this lives on my hip daily. This is the Tale of Knives MPU. And I usually have it right here on the left side of my hip because I'm left-handed. Everything has a place. Everything is familiar. Nothing is loose or excessive. You can see here, flashlight goes into there. Pen goes into here. The multi-tool has a pocket here, and I have a clip here for my keys. The only thing that typically rotates on this is my pen and some flat flashlights that I have that are very similar to this Arc Pro. That is preparedness, not anxiety. And lastly, I don't have it on me right now, but firearms. I know this part can make some people uncomfortable, especially in a world that we live in right now, and I understand all that. But I also want to be very clear. Carrying a firearm is not for everyone. And it shouldn't be. If someone is anxious, impulsive, or unwilling to train and understand the responsibility, they should not carry. But it is a right that we have as U.S. citizens. And when paired with proper training, legal knowledge, and restraint, I firmly believe it is the most effective tool for self-defense. I don't carry because I'm afraid. I carry because I understand the risks. And I take that responsibility very serious. I train. I study the laws. I respect the weight of that decision. And when I'm out with my family, I want to know that if avoidance fails and there is no other option, I have the best possible tool in my arsenal to protect innocent life. The real goal? Not freezing. Preparedness isn't about winning hypothetical scenarios. It's about not freezing. It's about familiarity and being calm and knowing how to act under pressure. Calm beats panic every single time. Preparedness turns into anxiety when you don't trust your judgment. You keep adding instead of refining. You feel uneasy without more gear. Real preparedness reduces stress. It doesn't add to it. Here's a simple challenge for this episode. Let's call it the calm check. Look at your current EDC and ask yourself one question. Does this make me feel calmer or more tense? If it brings calm, you're on the right track. But I'd love for you guys to comment down below. What part of your EDC gives you the most peace of mind, not the most capability? Because like I am repeating over and over and over, preparedness isn't about being afraid of the world. It's about respecting reality and trusting yourself to handle it. Calm is the goal. Thank you guys for listening to Not Another EDC Podcast. I'm Mikey. Carry what helps you keep calm, capable, and aware. And always stay aware, stay prepared. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Waka pat.